So my name is Star Bobatoon. I am an attorney, a speaker, and a trainer. My background is in employment litigation, which means I handle cases in discrimination, harassment, wrongful termination, you know, all the warm fuzzy stuff. I transitioned into being a diversity counselor where I counsel Fortune 500 companies to grow their diversity and maintain their diversity while staying on the right side of the law. Here's what I really do. I remind us grown folks of the things we learned in preschool. And you help me out if you remember what they were. Keep your hands what? And if you can't say anything nice? Oh my gosh, if we grown-ups could remember those two things, I think there'd be a lot less aggravation going on in the world and certainly a lot less litigation. Oh, but I've changed that for the 21st century. Please let me know if this works for you. If you can't say anything nice, don't put it online. Yeah, does that work? I want to talk a little bit about you. See, I know something about you. Now, I've never met any of you before you walked into this room, but I know something about you. I know that you are caring and conscientious people. I know that because you are in HR. Now, some of you are saying I didn't ask to be in HR. This was not my first choice, but it doesn't matter. See, I am of the belief that either you were drawn to this position or this position was drawn to you because of who you are, because of what you have to give. See, when FMLA comes into a person's life, it means something has gone wrong. They are lost, they are confused, looking for answers, and where do they come? They come to HR, and you have the answers. When I was a new attorney and I just started working at the law firm, I was told there were 3 things I had to do each and every time. The first thing I had to do was read the rule. The second step was to read the rule. Now you've done that, haven't you? Haven't you done that, Linda, where you've read the rule, you go back, you read it again, it's like a whole different thing? Well, they knew that was going to happen, so I was required to read the rule a second time. All right, so I've read it once, I've read it twice, I've got a pretty good understanding of the rule. I can finally move on to the third step, and the third step was to read the rule. Talk about curbing abuse. Number 1, write this down please, 1 hour increments. 1 hour increments. Now, the regulations say that you can calculate FMLA in the shortest amount of time you use to calculate any other form of leave. So, if you calculate your sick time in 15-minute increments, you can calculate FMLA in what? 15-minute increments. Now, let us say that you calculate your sick and vacation time in 1 hour increments. You can calculate FMLA in what? 1 hour increments, absolutely. Now, let us say that you calculate your sick and vacation time in half-day increments. You can calculate FMLA in 1 hour increments. It cannot be greater than an hour increment. Does that make sense? Now, you can use this in the morning. You can use it in the midday when, Denise is trying to take a few extra minutes for lunch. It doesn't work so well in the late afternoon. You know the gorgeous Friday 4:30 migraine before a holiday weekend? You've experienced this? Now, you cannot charge to FMLA anytime that they're not actually working. So if she leaves 30 minutes early, that's just 30 minutes out of her FMLA. The other thing that we learned from that little scenario is run PTO concurrently. Write that down, please. Run PTO concurrently. See, the regulations state that you are allowed to run PTO concurrently with FMLA. That means your sick time, your vacation time, your downtime, your non-productive time, your Valentine, whatever. All of it. Yes? You can require your employee to run that time consecutively. Why would you do that? We want them to eat it up, exactly. We don't want them taking 12 weeks of FMLA and then 4 more weeks of vacation. That's not what I want. The next tip that I want you to put on there, number 3, is recertification. Recertification. So let us say that our friend Denise is supposed to be out 2 days a month, right? She's supposed to be out 2 days a month. Last month she was out 6 days. This month she's out 5 days. You know what? I need recertification. I need her to go back to the doctor and tell me, I need the doctor to tell me that it makes sense for her particular illness for her to be out 5 to 6 times a month. Yes? Well, you know, in fact, I need the doctor to tell me that for her particular illness, it makes sense for her to be out on Mondays and Fridays. That her son's asthma only comes up, days after Cowboy games. I just need the doctor to tell me that this makes sense. That's all I'm saying. Yes? So, are those 3 tips helpful? Is that good for you? Helpful? You think that will help you deal with FMLA abuse? Excellent.